Gem&Ay. Thank you for joining us today. It's February the 15th. We're waiting a few minutes and hope you all will participate today. If you have any questions, feel free to join in with comments. We love hearing from you all.
Yes, definitely. We want to know, especially from the men, where my kings at. I need y'all to participate. You know, we got a hot subject today. I need some men speaking up. Too long. I'm not even gonna get into it, so y'all gonna get me started. But yeah, men, I want y'all to participate. You know, I hope everybody will be engaged.
Yeah, we're looking for open and honest thoughts from some of the women out there. I want to hear what you all got to say.
And if you want to share your actual experience, that would be great.
So how was your weekend?
Weekend was amazing. It was an amazing weekend. Had a great time. You know, me and my significant.
Okay.
We did our thing. You know, it's a good weekend.
Cool.
How about you?
It was very single. No.
Like craft single or
like single, like monogamy single.
So why is that? Just choice.
I'm waiting for the right king to come along.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could crown him. Okay.
That's right. So yeah, I did something for my kids, which I always do, and then and then my son cooked breakfast for me, so that was nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that was nice. Very
Really
thoughtful. Eggs, sausage, bacon. It's very simple.
Nice.
It was nice. It was
Very nice. Very thoughtful. Very thoughtful.
Probably cute.
What'd your daughter do for you? Anything?
I don't know. I don't think so. I need to,
Nothing?
no, she said thank you and shared 2 packs of the candy I bought her.
Wow. Hey.
So, you know.
Yeah. How about you, MJ?
It was good.
Good.
Yeah. Did a little igloo action.
A little what?
Igloo action.
Igloo.
So you
That's
know,
a new freaky sex thing.
This is a family show, so no, it is
Is
not.
it?
Is it?
No,
Wait, is
it's
it?
not.
Who
Okay.
said that?
Is it?
Like, I don't know.
On YouTube, I put 18 plus.
Okay,
I don't know
my
about my
bad.
family.
No, but just to inform you guys.
We family.
The whole coronavirus has started this whole igloo thing for at restaurants.
So what's that?
So when you go, it's outside eating, but it's in a little igloo. So it has a heater. It has a little
fancy
thing where you could set up your music, but you're really outside. So it was like a semi-ice
Nice.
storm. But we were outside, and we went to District Winery, and you know,
that is really
chilling. It was
nice. I like
nice.
that.
It was really good. It was different.
No, that's
yeah.
nice. Sounds
Yeah.
beautiful.
Not bad.
We're 5 after. We have
Alrighty.
5 joining us, so we can get this show started.
So, let's go. Let's go.
Yo, what's up? Gem&Ay show. I am the GemStarr.
And I'm Ayanna.
And yeah, you're tuned in to Gem&Ay. And we have a hot topic today. First of all, just want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. You know, although I'm not really a big proponent of this type of holiday, I respect it. I respect people's expression to show love to one another. I think it should be every day, but if you want to take one day to make it special, cool.
I agree.
Anyway, I am the GemStarr, and that's Ayanna. What you think about it?
So, our topic today is monogamy. It stemmed off of our last show. We were talking about relationships. And so we just wanted to talk about monogamy. Can you drop that definition for us?
Sure. Monogamy is the practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner.
Alrighty. So, with that being said, I think with monogamy, a lot of people have that expectation, right? Like some people just expect that without the discussion. I would think. So,
So which people? Because I think it can be different between men and women.
Okay.
You know, I think an expectation of monogamy can be different between men and women. So when you say everyone, do you mean everyone, men and women, have an instant expectation?
I don't
of
know
monogamy?
if it's an instant expectation, but as people form relationships, sometimes the conversations may not be had, and they think, and that could be both partners, going into a relationship and having the expectation that I am seeing this person and they are seeing me and we are only seeing each other without the proper communication. It just kind of happens. And probably it is women who probably fall into that more often because they done gave up the goods and now they thinking they on the way down the aisle or something.
Wait, you just skipped a whole, they done gave up goods. Wait.
I'm just saying monogamy, that's what I mean.
Almost sounds like a heist. They gave up, wait, hold on. So, you're saying that it's inferred once sex happens?
Not always.
Okay.
Adult relationships, or as we grow and we get wiser, we would think and hope that people have learned and understand that you definitely need to have that communication before you have that expectation. You shouldn't go into it thinking that. Like, it has to start with some form of communication before you even get that in your mind.
How do we get to the communication part? Because it sounds good, it sounds prudent. Oh yes, you know, let's have this conversation about how things are gonna be. But how many people actually do this? Like, let's look at what people really do. People look, they like, they holler, they exchange numbers, they talk, they get to know each other, and they're just allowing things to flow.
Mm-hmm.
And things flow into the bedroom. Now you've kind of opened up another, like you said, I think that's where the expectation comes in. I mean, some people do date intentionally, like from the very beginning. Hey, how you doing? We talking. Well, I'm looking for someone exclusive.
Right.
You know.
And I think all that happens at different ages and stages in our life.
That is.
I think that.
So break that down.
I mean, so I'm not completely sure, but I think when you're younger, right? If you're in your 20s, I don't know. I'm going to say 20 adults. I'm not going to talk about these young kids. Who knows what they're doing? We'll talk about these younger. You know, when you're 20s, college. I think at that point it may not be an expectation of monogamy. I think that people may be doing their own thing and not necessarily focused on having a monogamous relationship, right? But then as women, your biological clock starts ticking, and then you're thinking about relationships and marriage and family. And I think that's when it really becomes to a woman where monogamy plays a part, because they want the stability of a family.
So family building, that could be a rationale for monogamy. You know, I think it's interesting that, you know, monogamy is almost like a new phenomenon. Like, this is not something that has been around a long time, like a couple of 100 years. Before that, people married for property, for title, for power, and things of that nature. It really never had anything to do with love. So that's a new concept. And we're definitely looking at the different ways that we engage in it when we have other layers going on. So,
like what other layers?
So just think about it. Where do most of us even get the idea of monogamy from? It's taught.
I think it's taught. I think society.
It's not a natural human instinct.
I agree with that completely. I think that human beings are, I'm going to use the word forced into monogamy. Because program is a better word. Society dictates that to us. Religion, for a lot of people, I think religion plays a big part in monogamy. But I think as far as society, I think that women, when it comes to monogamy, I'm not sure that, besides the society pressures of it, I don't necessarily believe that women would not be open to polyamorous relationships if it weren't instilled in us that it should be one man or one woman, or you should not, as a woman, be so free to be open to exchange that, whether you believe in soul ties. Like, there's just a whole lot of other things that get into that will make women feel that they should be monogamous, even though I think women are just as often interested in multiple pleasures from multiple people.
That's interesting. I'm kind of on the fence with that. I think that women have been heavily programmed. I would think even more than men in a lot of instances, that women almost have a glass ceiling and a place. You're a woman, somebody needs to take care of the kid. Get the woman to do it. Like, there are some things that are still stigmatisms for women that are unfair, you
Right.
know. So and it's programmed again. You compliment a young boy and you're like, oh, he's so cute, he's gonna be a ladies' man, he's gonna have all the girls. And then the little girl, oh, princess, one day your prince is gonna come get you married. So you're programmed from such a young age. Play with dolls, play with cars, so for you to actually choose, you won't know until you've experienced
Right.
something else. And I think that's one of the things that we need to start to be more open-minded with. If you haven't experienced it, you can't even speak on it.
If you haven't experienced what, monogamy or polyamory?
What you want.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, it's usually saved for like your 20s, but so many of us miss that. How many people, straight out of college, oh, we're just for life. I met my sweetheart, it's you and you only, I can't imagine myself. And then, 20, 30 years down the line, oh, I didn't realize it was going to be like this. I never would have thought, because you're in your 20s. Like, you don't know anything about it.
So do you think that if people enter into a monogamous relationship, that we should begin to have open conversations and say, you know what, I entered this and I thought I wanted a monogamous relationship, but things have shifted. Mm-hmm. And now I may be wanting to explore other or more opportunities. Would that be better? Because I think what happens is people cheat when they really would probably be more open to receiving their needs met and from other places if they could just have those conversations, right?
And this is what I was saying from the last episode. Men want a platform to just speak. Let's talk about it. With a lot, what I think? I've been, researching a little bit, and it's almost like women are expressing what they want and feel, but I think men interpret it as ultimatum, as this or nothing else. So I think men, because I think we value a woman's acceptance. Mm-hmm. Even though we might try to play hard, F that B, whatever. Nah, men really value a woman's acceptance. And so sometimes we'll do things so that she will accept, even if it's lying.
So, okay, so when you say value a woman's acceptance, you're saying
So in other words, we want to be in your good favor. We want to do everything right. Think about it. When you first meet a guy, oh my God, is he doing almost everything right? He's like the greatest of all time, for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
Which means that he can continue because he's setting the standard.
Well, he's not setting the standard. He's trying to please you. He's trying to do everything he thinks you want.
But then that means he's capable if he is. If he's doing those things, that means he is capable of doing those things. Whatever it is, if a man can come in and say, you know what, these are the things that I think she needs, she wants, and then you lay that down, you come forward with those expressions of love or care, that means you are capable of doing it. So then later,
for the purpose.
What's the purpose? To get you?
Purpose is usually to.
Okay, but then after you get that, okay, so now
Then it's like whatever happens after that. I mean, again, that shouldn't be every man's mentality, but a lot of men have that. It's like a predator mentality.
Okay, so then now they get into this situation, and then the woman comes up. Oftentimes the woman said, okay, what's up? What are we? Where's this going? What do you want? And she wants a relationship. Mm-hmm. That is the opportunity for a man to speak up and say what? Why is it not?
Usually a man is already like into that routine and he doesn't want to break it and he doesn't want to lose it. So he may agree to things without reading any of the fine print. He's clicking the box, he's agreeing,
but
he's hitting OK, he's hitting install, he's hitting download, he's hitting OK, he's hitting open, and he doesn't realize how much it's opening up a whole bunch of other stuff.
But that is their opportunity to express, like, you know what, I'm not really I mean, I like you, I'll date you, but I'm really wanting to keep
and
my...
some men do. Some men will take that frontier to tell the truth about.
Because I feel like if those conversations were happening, I think women would be open and understanding where they are in the situation. Mm-hmm. And I think that they would also say, oh, cool, it's good for you, then it's good for me. How do you feel about that? Because can men handle that?
So for me, I can handle it. I think it's the premise, so the intent. If your intent is to try to be like me,
no, not to be like me.
Oh, just okay. If it's what you naturally want, I'm not gonna hold you back. Like I wouldn't want anybody to hold me back.
No, not hold you back, but are you still gonna be comfortable in that relationship? Or you still gonna be?
I can't say hypothetically.
You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like the mindset shifts. Like now, because that woman is spreading her love. Mm-hmm. Now you don't want to give all your love to her, or you want to be more guarded because you feel that she's spreading the love.
So, I think it depends on each individual situation. I think the key to it is talking about it. It's actually talking, laying out some guidelines. You know what I'm saying? Some things that two people can agree on. I don't think assumption is a good way to go about it. I think you have to maybe write it out. Maybe even write it out. Say, hey, these are things I want. These are things I want, and then swap. And then see how are you gonna help me get to these, and how are you gonna help me get to these.
Right.
So each person is now working towards the love of and desires of their mate.
And this is even for when you're having relationships that are not monogamous. You think people still want to put forth that much energy into the relationship?
Definitely.
When it's
definitely, because I think we miss I think we look at relationships as a possession, something you have, like instead of something you experience.
Right.
I think it's something you experience. You don't try to control it. You know what I'm saying? But you may commit to it. You may commit a certain part of your time, yourself, your love. You commit to it. You give, because that's the purest form of love. Mm-hmm. Giving. What are you giving? Everybody's always looking for what I'm gonna get. What are you giving me out of this relationship? What am I getting? What are you giving? You know what I'm saying? So again, if you both come to the table with, what can I give you so that we can have this experience and this thing we call life, and we're at a place where we're both at harmony and peace with our decisions, and understand brokenness comes from things like jealousy, being possessive. These are traits learned from brokenness.
So do you have?
I have a couple comments.
Sure.
Oh, you got some comments? All right, let's see. Come on, bring them on.
All right, so the overlying comment is that not many men can handle sharing.
Okay. Is that from men?
So I have one from a man and one from a woman.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. Like in your friend group as a guy, and Ayanna, in your friend group as a girl, have you come in contact with other ladies that had stories about, and he wanted to do X, or I was already seeing somebody, but I wanted to see him too, and any things that you guys can share of personal experience of whether a man can handle sharing or not being in a monogamous relationship and open about it.
So I think it goes two ways, because when we think about the not sharing part, I think that is with the thought of people being in a monogamous relationship, but with cheating. But if we're speaking of if we're speaking of having, say, an open relationship or a polyamorous relationship, I think the mindset of going into something from the beginning, or establishing a relationship that is one-on-one, and then now people don't like the sharing because you think you're in a monogamous relationship, which is totally different than going into a relationship where you're saying from the beginning, hey, we have a good time, we see each other, we're going to do this, whatever works for you, but I may or may not see other people because I'm just not seeing you. I think in that case, I'm assuming that a man may be more open in that way because he knows what he's going into it, and he probably thinks, he probably thinks he can get the woman and not see it. I don't know.
So I believe a big part of it is the male ego. Men, I'll speak just from my personal experience. The men I've been around, it's always been about who can get the most women, who got the biggest, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been an ego thing. But when you get past the ego and you realize that people are people, and people are going to do what they're going to do regardless of what you say, do, or whatever. Because there's a lot more women cheating than who are actually caught. But I just think that men's ego takes the best of them, so they can't handle it. So I'll give you an example of a lot of stories that I've heard. You have a young guy, he likes the girl, and I'm talking like, maybe like teenage, early years, and, it's a pretty girl at school, he's trying to get her, and boom, she gives him a little play, da-da-da. Next thing you know, they're going out, they're hanging out, they kiss, you know what I'm saying? He thinks that's his. Next thing you know, he finds out dude was tonguing her down on the 4th floor during math. But now his heart is broken. No, I'm just saying, a lot of dudes early, they get these little heartbreaks and they go on a rampage almost for the rest of their life. Like, yo, I'm never giving my heart to no woman.
But that starts from the first thing is the lack of communication, because like you just said, the expectation was that he thought that girl was his, but at that young age, did they really talk and be like, you my girl and you not tonguing nobody else? Or was it just
his infatuation?
Or it was just a expectation, thinking, oh, this is my girl, without the communication, and then that goes on later in life.
But even when men are in a real relationship, that first heartbreak, you know why? Because no one prepares a man on how to deal with his emotions. Men need to learn how to deal with their emotions. First, acknowledge the existence. Then identify what the emotion is. Then process the emotion. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our men, we take it out in aggression, in anger, in words, things that we regret later on. You know what I'm saying? But once you get wise enough to know that, only you can help yourself, once you have knowledge of yourself.
Right.
Once you know who you are, once you understand how to deal with your emotions, your triggers, the things that happened to you in the past that caused you to be angry or whatever. Again, it's just having knowledge of self and getting that full assessment of self and learning how to operate in a more healthy manner, respond instead of react.
Okay, so go back to the original question. Can men handle a woman who wants to be in not a monogamous relationship?
They can if they have knowledge of self and they don't have the ego and jealousy. They can. Sure they can.
I just find that hard to believe. Like, I just think that men are not willing to go into that relationship.
Well, I think there are not a lot of use cases. I think that's the reason why you say that, because a lot of times women, with programming or whatever it is, they want to be with that man who, listens to them, goes out with them, takes care of all her needs, and has that connection, that real connection. Like, women don't seem to want to go out and have any extra sexual affairs with anybody.
You don't think
from
that
my
women
experience?
want to?
From my experience, I'm just saying when did. I'm just saying. So it goes back to the end of our last discussion. That a woman who's happy, a woman who is, communication is there. He pays attention. He surprises you. He's attentive. He's thoughtful. He's all these things, and he takes care of his own business. He's ambitious. He's confident. He's takes care of his body. All of these things, right? All these wonderful things that women want and like. If he has those things, and he's putting it down in the bedroom, not many women out there, again, in my opinion, are like, oh yeah, this is great and amazing and fantastic, but look at him. Most women can't even see another dude when they happy in a relationship.
Okay, so
just my opinion.
So now the
what
same
y'all think
thing,
out there? Help me out, IG.
So from the same perspective, I would say that if a man is in a relationship and she's topping him off every day, she cooks the meals, like she makes him happy, she has good conversation.
Disagree. I know the comments are coming through like whatever.
She's being his rock. Like you're saying that they're still
right.
So, but my thing is, are they still cheating, or are they going into this and saying that, hey, I want to see other people?
So again, men, we almost look at sex like a sport. Sometimes it could be this wonderful, caring, loving thing, but sometimes it could be like, yo, let's play this quick 21 game and we're done. Like I don't even want to see you again.
Okay,
like,
so then why not say that going into the relationship?
Well, a lot of times we don't even know. A lot of times we don't even know that's gonna. A lot of times situations happen.
Monogamous relationships. And my point is that people end up in these relationships that are monogamous, but if there was communication, they may not.
Right, I agree.
But
the communication doesn't happen. A lot of times the men are scared. Men out there.
Okay, so that's it. The men are scared.
What's the problem? Why are men not voicing what they want? If so many men cheat, so many men, are apprehensive to monogamy, to marriage, to one person only for the rest of their life. If this is a death sentence mentally.
It's a death sentence.
Yo, I'm telling you, some dudes, come on, yo. Give me some comments from the fellas, yo. I'm telling you. Brothers,
marriage is the death sentence?
Because we separate the difference between loving you and having sex.
You got a wife. Y'all men live longer when they get a wife.
Again, we can have a wife, but that don't mean we not having sex with her.
Yes.
Too many people don't differentiate. Having sex with somebody is not the same as not loving your wife.
I agree with that, but my thing is,
to me,
really, this is still about monogamy. If that is the case, then you should be honest and let people make the decision.
I agree.
That's really what it boils down to, right? When you get in these relationships and situations,
but
then
nobody really talks, though. That's what I'm saying.
No, people are talking. They're just not being honest. Before fear. That's on both sides, women and men. Men may have the fear of, I'm going to lose this woman, and women are having the fear of, oh, if I tell him that I'm sleeping with everyone else, he's seeing me as the hoe. So now I have to tell him. I have to tell him, oh no, it's all about you. But really, listen, I'm good with it too. If I know that that's what it is, I'm just saying the conversation. But you get what I'm saying? And I think it's about the conversation. Do you all agree?
It is. No, I agree. It is about the conversation, just that we're not having it, and we got to figure out why. What is the apprehension to the conversation that needs to be had? Because,
Because as we stated before, I think there are responsibilities in monogamy.
Mm-hmm.
There are responsibilities for entering into a monogamous relationship. Because, one, as a man, if you're entering into it, the responsibility is to be honest and say that. And then you need to, as you say, give, right? Like, relationships are about giving. What can I give this person to keep them happy? And again, everyone's not going to, your happiness is really your own.
Mm-hmm.
But when I say make the person happy, you do thoughtful things for the person. You do things to show up and be there and be supportive, or whatever it is that person needs, because everyone's love language is different. Right? Mm-hmm. But we still have to have those conversations, and I feel like that's what is missing. And if people would just speak up and be honest, I think that marriages would be more successful, relationships would be more successful, but it's about building the communication at the foundation in the beginning.
So,
do you have anything?
I have one comment. Well, the overline comment from G is just being honest. If we think it's going to ruin ruin our chances and going to bed with a woman, we're not going to be honest.
We're not.
And this is what I see, at least from the male friends in my life. Men want what they want, which is to do whatever they want to do. But they don't want their woman that they care about to do the same. That has been my experience.
But
with
does
the
she
male.
Want to?
It doesn't matter. If
How
she
could
wanted
it not
to.
matter?
Okay, so let me say she does. If she does and she came to you, for example, just using you as an example, you would not be having it. Most men are not having it. They do not want their woman that they care and love to be with another man, period, point blank.
So
if we're being as honest as we can be, whether she wants to or not, if she came to you and said it, most men would be like,
there's 3 times as many women as there are men. If every man has 2 women, everybody has somebody. Everybody's happy. Everybody's equal. I just solved all the world's relationships.
You just
all relationships. Everybody's happy. You know
so you think men should have 2 women and women?
I mean, of course there are gonna be some variants. You're gonna have women with 2 men. There's not gonna be too many, but you may have some of that.
Okay.
So we talked about responsibilities and/or expectations. What do you guys think about the expectations one has when entering in a monogamous relationship? What are expectations that women may have, and what are expectations that men may have if they're really in a monogamous relationship? What does that look like?
If it's only about sex, there's only one expectation.
Well, it's not.
That you don't have sex with anybody.
No, it's not.
That's what you guys said.
No,
the definition in the very beginning.
But when we
this
say
is about
it's
sex.
not, monogamous relationships are about sex, but to keep people happy, or to keep people.
Now you're going into another. We're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about monogamy.
It is about monogamy.
That's what you guys said. You read the definition. Sex with one person.
Sex with one person, but it still goes into relationships with the one person.
What else is? What ties? That's what I'm saying. Women tend to have all of these fine print.
No, what I'm saying is, if 2 people are in a monogamous relationship, and the expectation is, and again, yes, we're talking about the monogamy in the sexual relationship form, but there are other things that go into it, meaning a husband or a partner who talks to you, communicates with you, spend time with you. Those things could lead to someone.
You cannot bleed that over to monogamy. That's a relationship in general.
Correct, but it's about
a monogamous relationship.
So now you're going to tie everything of a relationship into monogamy?
A monogamous relationship.
We're talking about monogamy, not a relationship. That's a whole different. Now you're talking about different topics of whether people have expectations that you're going to.
The relationship is only a monogamous relationship includes the sex. Like that's what makes it the relationship.
That's one of the things.
Right, but
that's why I asked you in the very beginning. When you say monogamy,
but it's monogamous relationship.
Relationship
is everything that goes into a relationship. It's still a monogamous or a polyamorous relationship.
Okay, so we're talking about a sexual thing with a relationship. So let's just revamp your definition. Because that's what we thought.
That's adding a lot of stuff. That's adding a lot of stuff. When you talk about expectations. We talk about expectations, so we can go there. What are the expectations in a relationship that happens to be monogamous? That happens to be monogamous. No, because it could be any relationship has agreements. That's all a relationship is. A relationship is a whole bunch of agreements, whether spoken, unspoken, implicit, explicit. They're just agreements. That's all they are.
Okay. So let's talk about agreements then.
Let's talk about agreements.
Let's talk about agreements that a man would have or expect, and that a woman would have and expect in monogamous relationships.
In a relationship.
Okay, in a relationship. Let's talk about agreements. Whoever wants to go first.
I think that women, now again, if we're talking about cheating, because monogamous, like if we were speaking of monogamy and going into something open and we had the conversation. But in this case, this is the expectation that you are in a monogamous relationship. You're thinking at least when you had the conversation, you thought you were in a monogamous relationship, but someone now is doing something outside of the relationship. And to your question, what is expected? I think that women are more inclined to step off when their emotional or mental needs are not being met, opposed to their physical needs. I think that the expectation for their partner to be supportive. If you have children, I think women, obviously want support and help in the home. Those things I think would get women's mind looking or open to a man being, to be receptive to a man.
So support?
Right.
What does support look like? Give me an example for a man. what do you tell him that looks like? Because if you say, I need you to be supportive,
I mean,
my definition as a man may be different than
so,
your definition.
so like I said, emotional support. So that means women, they like people to talk. You know, we like to talk. We like people to listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, am I wrong? Is that what it is?
You're 1,000% right. Continue, please. I'm listening.
I mean, so women want a man to be emotionally available and listen. Like, and it's not just like sitting up there like with the remote listening, but you tuned out. Actually engaging and listening, being there to find out, oh, what is the problem? Most men, as we know, are problem solvers. So if a woman is expressing their needs or whatever, oftentimes it feels supported when a man is taking action to solve their problems or assist in those problems or just being available, emotionally there.
So that emotional there means not to solve, just listen?
I mean, it could
is
be
solving
it's probably
necessary
both.
or
I mean,
no?
it's a combination of both. It is just being there for them. What I'm saying is, if a man withdrew on sex, and I think that women would probably still get some, but I think that is not going to be the driving factor to drive a woman to a physical relationship.
Okay.
I think it's going to be other things that's going to drive a woman into a physical relationship. Whereas with men, and you can speak on that, I think it's going to be more physical. Physical is physical. Like, it's not about the emotional disconnect.
So the question is, one of the agreements that a man needs between his partner in a relationship. What is one thing that would be an important agreement for him to have with his partner?
Have the monogamous, to enter into this monogamous relationship.
For now, I'm just taking it out because he's going to be all over the place. So to keep him focused, just what is the agreement that you would need to have with a woman in a relationship that's important to you?
So, subjectively, me personally, I would want them to know themselves first. But in the monogamy, like what I expect from her, just for the context of this discussion,
yes,
be present. Be present.
What does that look like?
So being present means let's engage. When it's time for us to discuss certain things, let's engage. And let's engage with a heart of healing and love. So when we talk to each other, let's talk to each other endearing. Let's talk to each other in a way where we actually care about each other's well-being. Because a lot of times I think even little things like the way we speak to our mates, you know, it says a lot. Because, you know, in the house of love, you're either with each word or action, you're either putting a brick in that house of love or you're taking one away. So I think that, you know, it's very important that we're mindful of the words we use, and words have power. Mm-hmm. So I think just being present, being able to let's compliment one another. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have to know me to that point, that to the depth of me knowing myself, and vice versa. So in other words, we go to each other's universities. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to learn everything about you. You're going to learn everything about me. But again, that has to be there. It's almost like that agreement to go that deep has to be there.
And so then that leads me to believe if you're going that deep with someone, if I go to GemU, you know what I'm saying? If I go to your university, is everyone going to your university? Or is that when it becomes monogamous? Because at that point, I feel like now that is when you would, if you're going to someone's university, that means I would think that you want to have this monogamous relationship where everybody enrolled.
Well, I look at it like
you know what I mean?
I look at it like this. Everybody that you know, that you call friend, that you call family, that you call lover, is a connection. They're just different types of connections. That's all they really are. Like you said, past life regressions. Like, you might have been husband and wife in one life and brother and sister in another. They're just connections. We, again, this is a little deeper.
Yeah,
but,
you're going to lose some people.
Yeah, I'm just saying, in this physical form of this lifetime, we're programmed to think and do a certain way. But it's not necessarily who you are at your core.
So I think, as one of as G recommended, he was like, build before you commit, which sounds like part of what you're saying.
So it's almost like
and I feel like honesty.
So let me say this. I think, especially with men, when men are like, oh, I want to be in a monogamous, like when men want a monogamous relationship, they've already like thought, strategized, they plan stuff out. They're not going off of feelings. Because normally it's not, oh, I see you, I'm in love with. No, it's usually like I'm ready and you fit.
You be time.
That's how
it's
men. We don't do the oh, I like you. Oh, you're so. No, we're like
stick it out with this.
We're like, look,
you around, you good. Time is right. I'm ready to, you know.
That's why people should look at it almost like a business proposition. I know it sounds.
You're whispering.
Oh, people should use it like a business proposition. Stuff should be written down. I would say even signed.
But no,
you know,
I believe.
Hey, let's try this monogamy thing for 5 years and see it with an option. What is it? Option to renew each year.
Listen,
I mean, sometimes stuff ain't going right, and then no, come on. How many people out there right now in relationships they don't want to be in? They don't know how to get out. They've been in so long. Like, come on, yo. Like, people are living their lives with stress for no reason.
And I think what you said would be idea. I think that is mature. I think it's open, and I think it's honest for people to actually reevaluate their relationships on an ongoing and continual basis, and evaluating if that works for you. So I think that's good. So as far as monogamy, I don't know.
So if we're gonna wrap it up, I would say this. Be mindful of who you are before you even engage in any type of relationship, monogamy, polygamy, whatever it is. Be mindful of who you are and what you want, what you desire. Stop going into these relationships just off of feelings or hormones. Like we gotta be more mature with the way we enter it, and ask for what you want. You know, this life is short, as we see with Corona. Ask for what you want. Stop living in stress. Love yourself. Love others. You know what I'm saying? It's been real.
And be willing to give when you enter the relationship. So you all, thank you all for joining. So we want to start featuring Black businesses. So if you're watching and you have a business that you would like us to promote, please let us know. DM us. Let us know. We would like to feature you on our next show, but we have a feature this week. Jay, tell us what's up.
So yo, we got, let me see, I don't know if y'all can see this shirt. What does it say? What does it say?
Pocket and socket, crank it, bounce. Go royalty.
Alright, so Go Royalty. Check out my man, gogoroyalty.com. He has an application that you can hit all the go-go hits, like exclusive old school joints. You can't get no old school. You can't get nowhere. So whether you're a go-go head or you just curious about go-go, because my man got people from Switzerland, he got people from the Ukraine, like they all listening to go-go on a daily basis. So check out my man, gogoroyalty.com. Got the dope gear, got the music, got the app. Check them out. And if you got a Black business, DM us. So maybe you could be featured on the Gem&Ay show. So thanks for joining us.
And see you next time.
Peace.